Good evening. Welcome to this ceremony recognizing our graduates majoring in neuroscience. I'm Richard Hume, the director of the undergraduate program in neuroscience. This program is a joint offering of the Department of Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology, which we call MCDB, that's my home department, and the Department of Psychology. Neuroscience began to cohere as a discipline in the late 1960s when psychologists, life scientists, physicians, and engineers realized that they had to work together to understand an organ as complex as a human brain. The first graduate program in neuroscience was formed here at the University of Michigan in 1972, and we're celebrating its 50th anniversary with a big symposium next week. As we entered the 2000s, a new generation of Michigan faculty concluded that the field of neuroscience was sufficiently mature that it was time to establish an undergraduate major, and we did so in 2005. Examples of questions that cannot be answered without using a multidisciplinary approach are ones like these. What are the molecular mechanisms that allow us to distinguish taste? And why do we find some foods delightful and some disgusting? Why can we instantly recognize the face of a relative long dead in a photograph? And how is it possible to do that when the molecules of the brain typically only last a couple of days? Why do memories fade as we age? And are there any medical interventions that might prevent that from happening? We still don't know the answers in full to any of these questions, but talk with your graduates and be amazed about what they do know about these and other topics about how brains work. So here's the schedule for this event. After I complete these introductory remarks, I'll make a graduation address of about 10 minutes or so. Second, we're going to have 2 members of the graduating class come and address you and their classmates. Third, we'll bring 15 members of the graduating class to the stage to receive awards. Fourth, we'll bring the rest of the graduates to the stage, announce each person's name, and if they did a senior thesis, the title of the thesis. Each student will receive a certificate of completion while they're on the stage. The university doesn't mail diplomas for about 6 weeks or so. And finally, I'm going to make very brief closing remarks. We'll end with the singing of the victors. And after that, please allow the stage party and the students to exit to the lobby first before you come to greet them. And lastly, I want to note that once the ceremony is ended, you're welcome to come up on the stage and take as many pictures as you want. If you want one of the faculty members to join you, just let us know. So there are 3 final things I want to note to wrap up this introductory section of our ceremony. First, students in our program would have a far greater challenge of completing the major without our hardworking staff, and I want to acknowledge them by name. Andrea Duenas normally sits at the front desk and has sat at the digital front desk for much of the last few years. She's the face of our program to the public. She helps students with extraordinary difficulty that it's been getting into classes that they need to graduate. Laura Curtis and Kim Pavick are full-time staff members who do many important tasks to support our students in all of the life science majors. We also have a number of outstanding undergraduate peer advisors. For the last 11 years, Anna Sayek's been supervisor of our office. Besides managing all the staff, she's been the person responsible for making sure we keep our budgets balanced, and more importantly, that we follow complex university procedures that are far too arcane for me to understand, even though, as you'll see, I've been here a very long time. Anna's recently taken on a new position with either greater responsibility as key administrator of the Department of MCDB. In the undergraduate office, we're really going to miss her. And finally, and most important from the student perspective, Keith Wickup is our neuroscience advising coordinator. Keith meets regularly with most students in the program to help them plan their courses and provide advice about many other matters. So let's give all these staff members a round of applause. Second, due to COVID-19, some people that we formerly expected to be here with us aren't. I'll say more about the impact of COVID-19 in my remarks, but for now, let's have a moment of silence to remember the individuals close to us who did not make it to this day, the nearly 1 million Americans who have passed away, and millions more around the world. Third, the students we are honoring today could not have gotten to where they are without the strong support of family and friends who are here today, live or on the video feed. So now I ask our graduates to give a round of applause to those people who have supported you throughout your studies. A well-done job supporting our students. I want to start this talk by just saying how proud I am of this graduating class. Despite nearly a year and a half of total disruption of the normal ways we educate our students, the overall academic performance and achievements of this class of neuroscience graduates is as strong as any graduating cohort that I've dealt with in my 39 years on the faculty. Furthermore, I remain in awe that in the summer of 2020, when it was unclear whether there would ever be a COVID-19 vaccine, and many of us locked down in our homes month after month after month, how many of these students did the other? They went out and got certifications so they could become first responders, placing themselves directly at risk. So for the rest of this talk, I'm going to focus on how most scientists I know approach the world, and really not talk about anything that's neuroscience specific. I want to note first that scientists are just as susceptible to our own preconceptions, cultural biases, and superstitions as other humans. For instance, when we root for our teams, we certainly look for good luck. So, I've watched the Ohio State-Michigan football game at my house, at Michigan Stadium, at my sister's house in Dobbs Ferry, New York, and again after she relocated to Amelia Island, Florida, at my brother's house in Youngstown, Ohio, and at my son's house in Chicago. But the outcome was always the same. We lost. However, last summer, my nephew and his family moved into a house near Cleveland, and we visited it for the first time to watch the November 21 game. As I'm sure you all know, Michigan won decisively. So, in sticking with good luck, you can guess where I want to watch the game in November of 22. And when my brother, an Ohio State Law School graduate, says we will never watch again, even though it's his son's house. Okay. So, what makes the advice of successful scientists special and worth listening to as we are considering public policy isn't that they are smarter than those who achieve success as lawyers, in business, in politics, in a construction trade, or in a service industry. Rather, it's the methodology our field has developed, which is shared with engineering but few other disciplines. In my brother's field, and many others, there's an emphasis on respect for accumulated knowledge and for precedent. In contrast, as scientists, we have trained by our teachers to work on the assumption that many of our ideas are probably wrong, and that we should quickly abandon them when presented with convincing evidence that contradicts them. We are also trained how to critically evaluate the validity of potential new evidence. During the pandemic, this willingness of the nation's best scientists and physicians to quickly change the advice they were giving us as new information came available has infuriated many members of the general public. But it's exactly how I, as a trained scientist, would have expected them to behave. If my colleagues and I have been successful as educators, most of our graduates feel the same way. Another way in which the views of most American scientists are at variance with the view of many of our fellow citizens is how we view the costs and benefits of sharing our knowledge with the rest of the world, and of bringing the best and brightest people from all over the world to live and work here. American scientists tend to favor sharing knowledge because we know that much of America's scientific preeminence in the 20th century was based on welcoming brilliant scientists fleeing oppression in Nazi Germany, fascist Italy, Tsarist and Stalinist Russia, and post-Tiananmen Square China. Most of us also benefited from having brilliant international students come to work in our lab. In contrast, many parts of the United States, especially where the manufacturing is a traditional way of supporting the economy, such as my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio, and much of Michigan, view this very differently. Their prevailing view is that sharing knowledge and technology with the rest of the world, and especially with China, has been a disaster. That frustration, combined with the fact that COVID-19 originated in China, has unleashed ugly racist attacks about Americans of East Asian origin against the children of two of my colleagues at MCDB, and I suspect some of our graduating students as well. Concern about China has also resulted in the US government taking on a science policy that reminds me of the shameful internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. The China initiative began when the Trump administration, but its repercussions continue basically unabated in the second year of the Biden administration. Now, explaining how something that began with a legitimate concern, that there certainly are Chinese spies trying to steal US defense and technology secrets, morphed into a Kafkaesque nightmare with investigations by the NIH of China-born basic scientists, a process with no transparency or due process. It would require more time than I have to go into the details. However, suffice it to say that the result of the China initiative has been that far too many people who were scientific leaders in the United States, including some faculty at the University of Michigan, felt so badly mistreated by the United States government that they've left the US and will be now scientific leaders in China. It's hard to imagine a more counterproductive strategy. Now, it's particularly ironic that while our government was focused on a non-existing threat, the brave action of a scientist who never left his native China saved the lives of thousands of Americans. The first human cases of COVID were detected in Wuhan late in 2019, and there was immediately significant pressure from the Chinese government to limit information sharing, and a policy was established prohibiting any genetic data to be shared without permission. Nonetheless, one virologist, Yongzhen Zhang from Fudan University in Shanghai, managed to obtain a patient sample, had his lab fully sequence the viral genome within 2 days, and the day they finished, January 5th, 2020, he posted the sequence to an international database that's maintained by our NIH. Now, as is typical of data intended to be used in a paper that's not yet published, it was embargoed, and that means that you could see the title, but you actually couldn't see the information within the paper. However, on January 11th, Zhang was convinced by an Australian scientist who he knew and respected that he should release the sequence immediately, and so that's what he did. Now, the consequences for Zhang was that the next day, the government shut down his lab for what they called recertification. Fortunately, because he was the expert on these kinds of viruses, they only kept the lab shut down for about 2 weeks. It was then allowed to reopen, and it was a key hub for testing tens of thousands of viral samples as the pandemic spread in China. The consequence for the rest of the world was that his actions allowed vaccine research to commence immediately, rather than being delayed by who knows how long by the Chinese bureaucracy before he would have been able to release it had he followed policy. It's also noteworthy that one of the major vaccines used in the US is called the Pfizer vaccine. But it was actually developed by BioNTech, a German company. Once that company had perfected the vaccine, they contracted with Pfizer to produce it in large quantities for distribution around the world. The chief scientists at BioNTech are Ergür Sahin and Özlem Türk. They are husband and wife, and both are children of parents who emigrated to Germany from Turkey. To wrap up, I want to leave you with 2 final thoughts. First, during this talk, I have pointed out examples of work done around the world that has profoundly affected the welfare of people in the United States for the better. What I did not point out is that the work would not have been possible had we not shared technical expertise and equipment developed in the United States. Second, and more importantly, I know from teaching students here at the University of Michigan that talent is not restricted to any specific ethnicity or gender. All of you have to do, those in the audience know it too, is listen to the names of our graduates as we call them to the stage and imagine the potential home of their forebearers. Once you've done that, spend a few minutes contemplating the exceptional contributions that this highly diverse graduates will make as scientists, physicians, and many other careers as they move forward in their lives. Thank you. Each year, we invite several members of the graduating class to address their classmates and our guests. Will the two student speakers for 2022 please come to the stage while I introduce the first speaker? Our first speaker, Unirid Madala Lee, was born in India, but he came to the United States at age 4. He lived briefly in Arkansas and Florida before his family settled in New Jersey just before he started kindergarten. He's a graduate of Montgomery High School in Belmead, New Jersey. He has an impressive list of activities, but the one that intrigues me is to perform stand-up comedy here in Ann Arbor at local clubs. His plans for next year is to pursue a one-year Master of Management at U of M Ross School of Business, but his long-range plan is to pursue a career in medicine. Anirudh.
Fellow classmates, faculty, friends, and family, I, as well as the rest of the class of 2022, thank you all for being here today to celebrate such an amazing day. A day that we will look back on as a culmination of our hard work and diligence towards pursuing our personal, academic, and professional goals and interests as undergraduates. My name is Unirid Madala Lee, and I would like to start off by thanking the undergraduate program in neuroscience, this opportunity to share my memories and inspirations as a student of neuroscience. Coming out of high school, I decided to pursue a degree in neuroscience to honor my late grandmother, who passed away from brain cancer when I was 12 years old. However, it wasn't until I began my academic journey here in Ann Arbor where I truly realized how prevalent neuroscience is to other fields of academia. Within neuroscience, there are anthropological ties to history and culture, biological ties to genetics and anatomy, and psychological ties to cognition and development. I would like to take this moment to thank all the professors I've had over the past few years for helping me view the science of the mind and brain from these various perspectives. Specifically, I would like to thank Dr. Rick Harris and Dr. Stephen Hart for allowing undergraduates like myself to join a traditionally graduate-level class in Neurophy 25 and opening my eyes to the world of pain perception and treatment. I wanted to highlight their influence on me not only as a neuroscience student, but also as an aspiring physician, because I left every single week from their classroom with more clarity on how I could bring my future patients to improve their quality of life. Of course, this wouldn't be a commencement speech without a cheesy life lesson. As neuroscience students, we want to make a difference in the world. We want to change the world. With careers in healthcare, research, technology, business, we are just getting started. So I would like to ask my fellow graduates, as you go through your days and you have such monumental plans, take a moment here and there to enjoy the little things in life. Enjoy what makes you who you are. Enjoy what puts a smile on your face every day. Enjoy your time with your loved ones. These are the lessons that I learned from my beloved grandfather, who left this earth almost a year to this day. And it was only right for me to honor him on a day that he would have loved to say by sharing his message with you all. Lastly, thank you to all my friends and family, especially my parents and my little sister, for helping me carve my own path in this world. And of course, congratulations to all my fellow graduates, and I wish you all the best in the next chapter of your life. Thank you. Forever go blue.
Thank you, Anirudh. Now, our second speaker is Sophia Abusamra. She spent her early childhood in Grand Blanc and then moved to Rochester Hills, Michigan at the age of 8 and graduated from Stony Creek High School. At the University of Michigan, she gained extensive research experience at the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center, working in the laboratory of Dr. Todd Morgan, who's on the stage with us. She's also a violist in the University Symphony Orchestra. She has a passion for travel, spent a summer at the University of Luxembourg doing Parkinson's disease research, and a summer living in Italy with her maternal relatives studying viola at the Conservatorio Potenza. Sophia will move to England this fall to study at Oxford. She'll pursue a PhD in surgical sciences focusing on prostate cancer research. After her doctoral studies, she intends to attend medical school in the US and then pursue a career in academic medicine. Sophia.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the department for having me to speak tonight. First, congratulations on successfully finding a parking spot tonight. Each of you should be incredibly proud of the tremendous achievement that your graduation today represents. You have demonstrated incredible resilience and persistence. In addition to the normal challenges of an undergraduate degree, you have pushed through in the face of a global pandemic to graduate from one of the top universities in the world. Our class, the class of 2022, is the last that will be able to say that we remember a full year of normal college life prior to the pandemic. I, for one, really miss the days when we thought that a polar vortex was a disruptive event. The past 4 years have been filled with many emotions for all of us, but I would like to take the next few minutes to focus on the future instead. And today, many of us likely feel anxiety and uncertainty as we embark on a new path, which is natural given recent events. But as a Michigan graduate and a neuroscience major, you are also a leader. And as a leader, there is a positive aspect to this uncertainty. Our futures are uncertain because we have so many opportunities that have yet to be taken and avenues that have yet to be explored. When asked to submit a speech for this evening, the instructions given were to consider sharing one's memories and inspirations. And today, this room is full of individuals who have inspired me during times of uncertainty. My freshman year at Michigan, I felt completely overwhelmed by classes and the opportunities that were available to me. And I felt as though I would never be able to achieve my goals. But what motivated me to proceed and excel was watching and, more importantly, learning from my peers. Seeing others demonstrate the resilience and brilliance to push through and achieve highly gave me the confidence to do so myself. I viewed my peers with the highest respect, and I aspired to be as accomplished as them, but I soon learned that many of my peers had the same exact trepidations that I did. In closing today, I would like to thank my parents, my sister, and my friends for the support, love, and encouragement that they have given me over the past 4 years, without which I would not be here today. I especially want to thank my advisor, Dr. Hume, who withstood my endless questions during advising appointments, and my research mentor, Dr. Todd Morgan, who has given me invaluable opportunities and been an incredible role model. And I would like to leave you with this thought tonight. In the future, when inevitable uncertainty arises, please take a moment to reflect on your biggest accomplishments here at U of M, such as being first in line at Rick's. Recall those accomplishments and know that you can push on to do yet more. I am truly honored to be a part of this graduating class, and I believe that the people sitting in this room today are the leaders of tomorrow. I cannot wait to see the amazing things that all of you do. Thank you, and go Blue.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you. That's good that way. The University of Michigan is one of the greatest research institutions in the world, and we're proud that more than half of our neuroscience undergraduates participate in research opportunities for at least one semester. A subset of our students choose to focus intensively on research and submit a senior thesis as part of their degree. However, we have many exceptional students who choose not to pursue the thesis option, mostly so they can have sufficient time to focus intentionally on a service activity. One indicator of the excellence of our non-thesis students is that typically we have about the same number of thesis and non-thesis students invited to join the Honor Society Phi Beta Kappa. A senior thesis begins with a scholarly review in which the student carefully evaluates the most relevant published literature and then continues with a careful description and analysis of the results of typically about 2 years of work in a lab. Typical thesis is 40 to 50 pages long. Most theses will eventually be incorporated into a scientific publication in a refereed journal. Each thesis is evaluated by 3 faculty members who recommend a designation of honors, high honors, or highest honors, and then the program steering committee assigns an honors level. This year, 32 students successfully completed a thesis. As program director, I read all the evaluations submitted by thesis readers and use this information, as well as additional information provided by thesis mentors and honors students, to decide which students merit consideration for honors. Will Yama and Kalia please come to the stage to be recognized? The LSA Honors Program makes a single award for the most outstanding thesis across all of the life sciences. This award was endowed by the Goldstein family and is called the Marshall Nirenberg Award, in honor of a Nobel Prize-winning scientist who did his graduate work at the University of Michigan and later in his career deciphered the genetic code. Eligible students are drawn from about a dozen majors, which together graduate about 1,500 students each year. So the chances of a student majoring in neuroscience winning this award would seem to be low. I'm therefore delighted to say that for the 2nd year in a row, the Nirenberg Award winner is a graduating neuroscience student. Okay. Yaman is from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Prior to arriving at the university, he graduated from the International Academy in Bloomfield Hills. In addition to his degree in neuroscience, he will graduate with a minor in computer science. His GPA in both the major and the minor is 4.0. The focus of the work in the Quan lab where he worked is on the development of the cerebral cortex. That's the part of the brain that distinguishes humans from most other mammals. The Quan lab generates a massive amount of DNA, RNA sequence data, and Yaman uses his computer science skills to develop powerful analytical methods to interpret these data. The title of his thesis was Genetic Dependencies of Neuronal Gene Expression. So far, Yaman's research has resulted in co-authorship on 4 published papers, and Professor Kwan assures me that at least 3 additional co-authorships are forthcoming. It was based on this exceptional record that we recommend that he graduated with highest honors in neuroscience, and the LSA Honors Program selected him as the Nirenberg Award winner. Can we have another round of applause for Yaman? Stand over, don't leave the stage. Okay. Will the Directors Award winners please come onto the stage to be recognized? As they do, if their research mentor is here, please join them as well. Now, despite our recent success, the probability of a neuroscience major will win the Nirenberg Award is low. So each year we also present our own awards, the UPenn Directors Awards for excellence in research, in the classroom, and in service or teaching. Students whose honors theses are rated as meeting high honors or highest honors are eligible for consideration. These students are invited to submit a description of their contributions in service and teaching to help us decide who should receive an award. These awards come with a certificate and a cash prize. We typically make 4 to 6 of these awards, but you see a lot more people on the stage. The reason that we departed from that tradition is that this year I was astonished that even though there was a very long period of time where these students could not get into a lab, and probably an even longer time where service opportunities were highly restricted, these students not only managed to complete a neuroscience thesis, earning high or highest honors, but also had highly significant contributions to teaching or service. So the first 4 people we're going to introduce, awards are said to be for exceptional achievements in research, in the classroom, and in teaching. So what does that mean besides an outstanding thesis? All 4 of these people have GPAs between 3.9 something and 4.0. And all of them had extraordinary service, both in teaching and in service. And so I'll first call up the first 4 award winners to introduce themselves, tell us the name of their mentor, and read their title, with the exception of Akil, who's having a voice problem, so I'll read his for him. Okay, so Kathleen?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kathleen Gu. My thesis mentor is Dr. Monica Deuce, and the title of my thesis is Dysregulation of Dopaminergic Signaling by a High-Sugar Diet, and I'm from Troy, Michigan.
I'm gonna come this way. Congratulations. Okay. Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia Kravchenko. I'm from Okemos, and with the help of Ileana Morales and Dr. Kent Berridge, I wrote my thesis titled Contributions of GABAergic Neurons in the Posterior and Anterior Ventral Pallidum on Liking and Wanting. Thank you so much.
Akil is actually next, Pratik last. Akil Kondapati did his thesis with Michael Wong. Michael's here somewhere. Come on up with him. And the title of the thesis was Segmentation of Histological Vessel Wall Sections for Quantitative Localization of Proteins in Cerebral Autosomal Dominant Arteriopathy with Subcortical Infarcts and Leukoencephalopathy. Congratulations, Akil. Congratulations, Michael. Okay. And lastly, Pratik.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pratik Pinchi. I'm from Rochester Hills, Michigan. My wonderful thesis mentor is Dr. Wanlu Du, and the title of my thesis was Investigating Rapid Mitochondria-Mediated Non-Apoptotic Cell Death Triggered by Lysosomal Zinc Release.
And now we've got 10 additional awardees whose certificate will say for outstanding achievements in research in the classroom and in service or teaching. These people had theses that were just as good. Their GPAs were mainly in the same kind of range. They had very high activity in service or teaching, but not as balanced a thing. But they were too good to not give awards to. Okay, so each of you come up and introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abigail Marks. My thesis is called The Role of Circa ATPase on the Altered Cardiac Calcium Homeostasis in a Mouse Model of Dravet Syndrome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ankita Amberkar. I'm from Palo Alto, California. My thesis mentor is Dr. Carmo Costa, and my thesis title was Investigating the Contribution of the Cullen-3 Cap1 NRF2 axis to the Pathogenesis of Spinocerebellar Ataxia Type 3.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caroline Haywood. My thesis mentors were Dr. Kent Berridge and PhD candidate Ileana Morales, and I'm from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, and my thesis title is Activation of Corticotropin Releasing Factor and Dopamine 1 Receptor Expressing Neurons in the Central Amygdala Generates Wanting Without Liking.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Cron. My honors thesis mentor was Dr. Todd Herron. I'm from Hull, Massachusetts, and my honors thesis title was The Effects of Bipolar Disorder on Cardiac Functionality.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Johnson, and my mentor was Dr. Sue Mentor here. And my thesis title was The Effects of Stress on the Pre-Ovulatory Luteinizing Hormone Surge and Ovulation in Adrenalectomized Mice, and I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Congratulations, Sue.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra Turfey. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan. My thesis mentor is Dr. Shelley Flagel, and my thesis is titled The Effect of Systemic Corticosterone on the Acquisition of Golden Sign Tracking Behavior in Male and Female Rats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Anna Loffman. I'm from Saline, Michigan. I worked in the parent lab with Dr. Louis Dang. The title of my thesis is Methods and Strategies to Modulate Expression of SCN1A for Treatment of Dravet Syndrome.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Randolph. I'm from Ashtabula, Ohio. My mentors were Dr. Catherine Collins and Dr. Ryan Insolera, and my thesis was Temporal Control of Genes Regulating Mitochondrial Homeostasis in Adult Drosophila Neurons.
Hi, my name is Chrissy Gillis. I'm from Cape Elizabeth, Maine, and my wonderful thesis mentor is Dr. Sammy Barmada. And the title of my thesis is Activity-Dependent Regulation of Matron-3 in ALS and Frontotemporal Dementia. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. One more.
Hi everyone, my name is Helena Lee. I'm from Farmington Hills, Michigan. My amazing mentor is Professor Kunming Duan, and my thesis title is Distinct Roles of Zebrafish Staniel calcin 1A and 2A in Regulating Ionocyte Proliferation and Calcium Uptake.
Let's have one more round of applause for these amazing students. Now, before we move on to calling these students back up at the head of the call of all students, I want to wrap up this section of the ceremony by inviting a round of applause from the students and their guests for the 25 faculty members who mentored this year's honors students and the 32 faculty members who served as honors thesis readers. So at this point, Professors Sarah Ayton and Catherine Collins will go to the other mic. They're going to call the roll of our graduating seniors. They were selected for this honor because they teach classes that teach a lot of seniors, and so they're less likely to stumble over some of the names than the rest of us. But I'll give you a hint. All the students filled out a card with phonetics, so we ought to be okay. What we'll ask is all the students, including those who got awards, to come up. For students whose honors thesis titles have already been announced, we won't announce them again, but there's another 18 honors students, so when they come to the stage, their titles will be announced. So again, students, will want you to all come up this stairs, hand your card to Kathy or to Sarah, wait to be announced. I'll shake your hand, and we will then hand you a certificate of completion. As I said, the diplomas don't come for 6 weeks or so. So, students.
Oh yeah, put it down. Nice. Okay, so I'll take yours, and then you.
Unirid Madala Lee.
Sophia Abusamra.
Yamakalula. Yaman Kalui.
Congratulations. Sorry. Kathleen Gu.
Julia Karchenko.
Pratik Surudur Pinchi.
Akil Kandupi.
Abigail Marks.
Anika Amkar.
Carolyn Haywood.
Rachel Cron.
Megan Johnson.
Alexandra Tufi, and the title of her honors thesis is The Effect of Systemic Corticosterone on the Acquisition of Goal and Sign Tracking Behavior in Male and Female Rats. Oh, we're not done yet, sorry.
Anna Loffman.
Okay, I won't read it. Lindsay Randolph.
Christy Gillis.
Helena Lee.
Ellie Barakat.
Rebecca Hyman. Oh, Dara Kissel.
Sienna Gorin.
Tin Long Rex Fung.
Melanie Chen.
Sasen Akaliki.
Margaret Cowson.
Almo Ragazzi. Congratulations.
Julia Abo.
Cirilio Kamau.
Mohammed Malik, whose honors thesis title is Analysis of Adenosine Triphosphate Levels During Periods of Axonal Stress in Drosophila Neurons.
Selena Iqbal.
Andre Boutros.
Jack Miller.
Jacob Bowser.
Congratulations. Samantha Anderson.
William Stanislaw.
Lisa Welsh.
Gillian Wellham.
Congrats. Zoe Zachrist Gast. Shocking Gast.
Alexis Thomas Perez.
Jacob Grunwald.
Nicholas Boudar.
Congrats. Danielle Sharon.
Zoe Lanus, whose honors thesis title is Sleep States and the Neural Functioning of the Ventral Striatum During Anticipation of Reward in Adolescence.
Congratulations. Avery Anoho. And the honors thesis is Comparing Behavioral Phenotypes Between Wild Type and SYNGAP1 Mutant Mice.
Drew Miccolini.
Ariana Afonso.
Sasha Yakovenko.
Stephanie Mendez Ortega.
Rachel Kroll.
Jackson Hoffman.
Amala Nayak.
Mackenzie Farrell.
Alan Kay.
Khan Gurun.
Srichandana Udamula. Lauren Park, whose honors thesis title is The Effect of Post-Learning Sleep on Memory Consolidation in the Hippocampal Engram.
Elena Brakeman.
Corinne Bitsko.
Marcus Sue.
Maurice Tomei.
Matthew Lusudu.
Brennan Coleman.
Elizabeth Rooney.
Corey Sang.
Adriana Archie.
Alexander Maitland, whose honors thesis title is The Effect of Rate on IV Cocaine Infusion on Locomotor Sensitization in Female Rats.
Shisen Oi.
Maxwell Northrop.
Sarah Rozoki.
Gabriella Light.
Hani Nasser. Oh, and honors thesis is The Effect of Insufficient Sleep on Adolescent Amygdala Response to Threat.
Gabrielle Dicas.
Nicole Baez.
Luke Schwartz.
Benjamin Portelli.
Anushka Gulati.
Arman Zaida.
James G.
Tatum Yuning.
Alexandria Shear.
Amna Taunier, and the title of her honors thesis is Assessment of Aminobenzyl Protein Disulfide Isomerase Inhibitors as Novel Glioblastoma Drug Targets.
Isra Zahar.
Yosef Khalil.
Colleen McKay.
Olivia Keating.
Daniel Saukonen.
Sydney Musard.
Onoki Pawar.
Sophia Reitmer.
Sierra Moore.
Alec Bayonetto.
Aditi Desai.
Johari Somerville.
Clara Campos.
Athena Apfel.
Delia Perillo.
Caitlin Schuler.
Easton Cummins.
Cole Sealand.
Sarah Trumza, whose honors thesis title is Understanding the Function of Deubiquitinating Enzyme Ataxin 3 during mouse models, using mouse models.
Connor Patterson.
Jason Knox.
Emma Tyson.
Krupa Patel.
Caitlin Mohanagan.
Michael Ruprecht,
whose honors thesis title is X-ray crystal structure and anion selectivity features of the E. coli fluoride channel.
Allison Gonzalez.
Dylan Prasad, whose honors thesis title is Hormonal Regulation of Drosophila Accessory Gland Growth.
Eva Nguyen Chaunder.
Abigail Biddix.
William Branchaleone, and the title of his honors thesis is Examining the Effects of GERK1 Channel Activation and Sleep-Dependent Memory Consolidation in Fragile X Syndrome.
Bethany Long.
Faith Bridgman.
Madeline Stack.
Gina Gasparato.
Evan Sood.
George Mata.
Samuel Nahes.
Vivi Lee.
Emily Wu.
Ethan Rui.
Henry Wall.
Tarun Sai Badri.
Huyan Chaudhry.
David Elias.
Ibrahim Lupis.
Benjamin Stefadu.
Aruna Jain, whose honors thesis title is Investigation of a hedonic hotspot in the anterior cingulate cortex.
Ayla Arif.
Michal Yazdani.
Brendan Chen.
Haley Saunders.
Madison Kasunas.
Matthew George.
Andrew George.
Joshua Braden.
Samuel Phillips.
Benjamin Barrett.
Emmanuel Servin.
Sue-In Choi.
Rachel Schwartz.
Annie Rowerda.
Chang Hyun Yang.
Jamie Ho.
Grace Liu.
Megan Zhao.
Katie Ann Kalea.
Ali Naim.
Nasim Abu Halwa.
Sirapa Vichaykul.
Julio Roge Buenrostro. And the title of his honors thesis is The Neurocognitive Development of Phonological Awareness in Spanish English Heritage Learners.
Benjamin Shapiro.
Owen Dean.
Khalid Abdul Shafi.
Haitung Yu.
Aaron Zan.
Let's have a round of applause for my faculty colleagues and for an incredible graduating class. Graduation is an opportunity for students to look back on what happened during their time at the University of Michigan. Most of you arrived in 2018, just a few months after MCDB moved into the new biological science building. The open space on the ground floor atrium instantly became a popular study center and awe-inspiring once the giant flying reptile Quetzalcoatlus got into one atrium and the museum specimens in the other. The upper floors are where I do my research and my people do, and many of you worked in labs in the building. Now, after a year and a half of normalcy, the defining feature of the rest of your college experience was the need to rapidly adapt to changing circumstances. Started with an instantaneous jump to online instruction, and for many of you, heading home to your parents. Then you had to navigate the next year a mix of online and in-person instruction. Now, in your final year, the instructional mode was mostly normal, but still all conducted in masks. So it's great as we complete your time here that the pandemic has abated sufficiently that most of you consider it safe enough that I can see your full faces. I'm honored to have had the opportunity to teach and advise you, and I wish you the best. On behalf of the faculty of the undergraduate program in neuroscience, I congratulate our graduates on their accomplishments here and look forward to great things that you'll do in the future. So we're going to conclude the ceremony with one last round of the victors, and then after it finishes, if you'll allow the podium committee and the students to exit to the lobby before the rest of the audience do, that would be appreciated. Congratulations and go blue.